Dashing David Soul may have roared to fame as a TV tough guy, but music was his first love.
You smiled that misty way, and something in me said,
My name is David Soul. I want to be known for my music.
remember the last time.
David took his music very seriously.
This time I'm going in with my eyes open.
Very macho man, delivering these very lovely lyrics. It's a winning combination.
What he did was to cash in on his popularity with Starsky and Hutch.
Well, not quite. Growing up as the son of a Lutheran minister, music had always been an important part of David's family life.
I grew up in high school days singing in a quartet and with a church choir. I learned very early on the way to get a girl is with the music. You play a guitar, you know, you can hook the bird.
With the birds well and truly hooked, David invented a bizarre new persona to boost his profile.
I am the covered man.
Many girls and many guys complain that life is such a task.
The idea was that I didn't want to be known for what I looked like. I want to be known for my music, and I did it.
'Cause I'm a man who has to be free.
I thought, this is a fantastic angle. What does he really look like? Is he hideous? Is he deformed? Why is he doing this? It's so hilarious to think that there was a handsome guy underneath this hood.
And as long as I'm me.
And recorded a song called I Am the Covered Man. It's so bad it's good. It's so bad it's good.
The mask worked. It got it noticed by one of Hollywood's top talent scouts.
A lovely voice, lovely voice. And after the show, I said to my husband, he's got to be an actor. Nobody else would come out with a bag over his head like that. I said, I'd like to get in touch with him. I'd like to have him come in and audition.
David dropped the mask, donned a cravat, and passed the audition. He was on his way to TV stardom.
I got a call from Aaron Spelling, and he said, I'm going to do a show called Starsky and Hutch. I'm stuck. I need a couple of leads. You got any ideas for me? And I said, well, yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. And I told him about David, and I also told him about Paul Michael Glaser. He saw them both, he fell in love with them, and there was Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky and Hutch was an immediate hit, both in the States and around the world.
As soon as that show hit the air, he became a major star.
David Soul was a heartthrob right from the start. I probably watched the first episode of Starsky and Hutch that was screened in this country and immediately went, wow.
They are going to start a dance. Action!
But David hadn't given up his love of music.
Bless his heart, he worked very hard to get music-themed episodes into Starsky and Hutch, where he could actually have a little go. We did a country music version once. It was a big passion of his to try and work the music in somehow.
I mean, it was no secret that I wanted to sing, that I enjoyed singing. It wasn't a career so much as it was that I enjoyed singing.
The blue-eyed soul boy was offered the chance to release an album, but the hits didn't come until he joined forces with top songwriter Tony McCauley.
And the album wasn't bad, but we needed something to kick it off.
I got a call from Larry Utel, who was the head of a record company with whom I'd worked before, and he asked me, are you aware of David Soul? And I said, yes, you know, I know him as one of Starsky and Hutch, the big drama series on Saturday nights, and that's all. And he said, if you could come up with a hit single for him, we could really build a major star here. And everything they say in showbiz is timing, and I'd written a couple of songs already. So I went up to Larry Utel the following day. I said, well, really all I've got is this. Don't give up on us, baby.
After round-the-clock recording sessions, over a few frantic days and sleepless nights, the track was rush released.
Got up, made myself a cup of coffee, turned the radio on. The first track I heard was Don't Give Up on Us.
Don't give up on us, baby.
I played Don't Give Up on Us, Baby so many times on radio too. I mean, I wish I had a penny for every time I played it.
The future isn't just one night.
It's one of those songs that it gets into your brain and it's very hard to get out. It's got a great lyric. He sold it really well. He looked terrific.
Painted on the stars, we can't change ours.
The strongest thing about it was David was an actor, and the lyric was quite an emotional one, and he put the song across with a tremendous degree of emotion.
Don't give up on us, baby. We're still worth one more try.
Show me a woman who wouldn't want a man saying those lyrics to her. Don't give up on us, you know, give us one more chance, I still love you, you know, it'll all be okay in the end.
Don't give up on us, baby.
David appeared very dreamy on Top of the Pops. They used lots of shots of his face all in one sort of screen, so it was very, very dreamy, very romantic. Yeah, it was lovely.
The angel and the dreamer.
I can't tell you how many people have come up to me over the years and said, you know, that song kept us together. Well, you can't have a better compliment than that.
Don't give up on us, I know we can still come through.
Oh, with Dreamy David topping the charts on both sides of the Atlantic, he flew into the UK to play a series of sell-out shows.
My abiding memories of my first trip to the UK with this record is terror. I'm talking about, whoa. The reaction was just extraordinary. I'd never really seen anything like that, even when we were making Starsky and Hutch.
But even more terrifying was the thought of topping the bill.
Dreamed about this all my life, playing in London. Now I just want to come back to Los Angeles.
I was out there on my own. I was the headliner. You know, I had somebody opening for me. And I was a little frightened by that.
No wonder. Screaming teens and their mums wanted a piece of him.
Mum said that she'd get us tickets to go and see David Soul in concert at the Rainbow. I was so excited. I couldn't believe I was actually going to see him live. All I remember is just screaming. You couldn't hear anything except people screaming. It was so loud.
Every time I did something, like pick up my guitar to scream.
Sobbing their hearts out and screaming and tearing their hair and
I'd put my hand on the fret and play a chord, they scream.
David, David.
But as soon as you open your mouth, they'd scream. Or you said hello. Ah! You know, it was horrible. People didn't come to listen, they came to scream.
Let's face it, he was a grown man. A lot of the people that the kids were screaming at were not so much older than they were, whereas David was probably in his 30s.
There was an exciting part to the sort of Beatlemania, if you will. And then there's a part of me that says, wait a second, guys, this isn't what it's about.
But increasingly it was. As like it or not, he was now a chart-topping, fan-clubbing, bona fide pop star.
Drifting, searching, shifting from town to town.
My records were the best-selling of 77, 78. I suppose I was proud of that.
I can't blame you if you won't take that.
He won Artist of the Year, which, considering the Bee Gees were omnipotent in that period, was pretty extraordinary.
But honey, you're my last hope.
I think there's one year where he sold more singles than any other recording artist in Britain, which is, when you think about it, it's like one of those Trivial Pursuit questions. People wouldn't, you get the answer, you think, are you kidding? David Soul?
Come on, silver lady, take my word. I won't run out on you.
He was the golden boy. He looked the part of the pin-up. He was the pretty boy. And he capitalised on it while he had it.
But serious muso David had misgivings about being seen solely as pop eye candy.
the term heartthrob probably would have bemused him somewhat.
I didn't set out to become a heartthrob. I'm just glad my heart works, which is nice. It's still pumping.
After their successful partnership, David and Tony McCauley went their separate ways, and the string-laden ballads were no more.
The third album we did was an album called Band of Friends, and more than any other album I think I've done, it was closer to the David Soul that I wanted out there.
The Band of Friends album saw a more bluesy, country rock approach.
Unfortunately, it was the album that didn't get a release except in Japan.
When his record label went bust, David's recording career lost momentum, and his pop star days were behind him.
They were great days, but I've had years of great days since then, and bad days too. This is it. It's time for Jerry Springer the Opera.
Screams of passion turned to screams of outrage after David appeared in Jerry Springer the Opera.
Tired of drifting, searching, shifting, town to town.
He's since appeared in other West End musicals, and the old hits still get the occasional outing. David can now reflect on the upside of his brief spell as a 70s singing heartthrob.
I think those 18 months probably gave me an aspect of living that very few people would ever experience, you know? So I'm thankful for that.